Warning: the following footage contains strong language, gore, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, I am a mongoose.
Okay, and we're back. I don't think there are many first-time skaters in their 20s these days. I was kind of scared when I was little. Those shows seemed like knives to me. Shows? But you were able to just start skating. That's pretty amazing, Umi-chan. But it's not very different from skiing, after all. You keep your weight forward and use the angle of those shoes to steer. That's what he said, so I took his word for it and gave it a try, and it was fun. Oh, so it was a date. And Michael and Dash both told me those are yin signs, but I don't see how they fit into context at all. Yo feels a stab of envy. Koji and Umi enjoy their time together like normal overs do. Normal I-overs do? That's certainly not something to be jealous of. It's just that Yo's luck has been bad. I want to see Umi-chan skating too. Yo keeps her voice up. Okay. Keeps her voice upbeat, trying to cover up her inner conflict. Yo knows that she mustn't be envious or blame luck. She has a special person too. It's because of the terrible tragedy that befell him that he doesn't spend any time with her. His is true misfortune, the sort that makes unluckiness pale in comparison. So how about it? If we make the ski trip a skating trip too, it'd be twice as fun. But you can skate at a skating rink, can't you? Why go all the way to a ski resort? That's a good question. I don't want to skate indoors. I want to be outside, where I can skate on the lake or something. Will it be that easy? I think it'll be pretty crowded. While speaking, Yo sneaks a sideways glance at him. All the conversation has been involving Koji and Umi, with Yo supporting their lively banter. They're clearly two couples sitting at the cafeteria table. In other words, Yo's boyfriend, though there's still some doubt over whether he could be called that, is also sitting with them. Hey, Fuminori, what do you think? Maybe Koji sensed the pain in Yo's heart, in his usual quiet and considerate way. About what? The cause of Yo's distress. Sakisaka Fuminori responds to Koji's sudden query with vague, mumbled question of his own. We're talking about this winter ski trip. You're coming too, right? Koji speaks gingerly, as though, probably a tumor, a few months ago, he wouldn't have hesitated to firmly rebuke Fuminori for his attitude. Their long acquaintance had forged a friendship that needed no restraint. I don't know, Fuminori responds bluntly. His downcast eyes or sullen demeanor making it clear that he has no desire to break his silence. You have other plans? None in particular. Even Koji, who should be Fuminori's best friend, cannot communicate with him as he could before. It should go without saying that Yo can't find a thing to say. The scars left by the events on the late summer day are still deep months later. Each one of the four bears them, not only Fuminori. Hey, it's not like physical activity could affect your injuries, right? I'm not sure. I'll ask the doctor during my checkup. As though that answer drained the last of his patience, Fuminori bolts out of his chair. Hey, Fuminori! Even Koji can't keep his voice from rising a little as he tries to stop Fuminori from leaving. Fuminori reacts swiftly, though throwing his hand over his face as though trying to shield himself from something terrifying. Maybe some spittle flew inadvertently from Koji's mouth, but that's the sort of thing that happens occasionally during everyday conversation. At least, there wasn't even enough spit for Yo to see clearly. Certainly nothing you need to frantically protect yourself from. Even if he was spit on, Fuminori's reaction was extremely unpleasant. Like I said, Fuminori snaps, making no attempt to relieve the discomfort of his friends. Today's my checkup. I have to go. Even as he tosses mine on the table, presumably to pay for his coffee, he acts like he's touching something filthy. Later, with a hurried stride that makes it seem as though he's running away, Fuminori leaves the cafeteria. Still cloaked in heavy silence, the remaining three lowered their gaze to the table, where the abandoned 10,000 yen bill sway forlornly. Looking closely, they see that Fuminori's coffee is untouched. Umi sighs. I can't take this anymore. But Koji shakes his head reproachfully. I think Fuminori just needs a little more time. But it's been 3 months. What's with his attitude? I feel like I'm going crazy hanging around him. Hey, I don't get it either, and I don't think there's any way I can. Can you imagine what it'd be like to lose your family in such a horrible way? That'd screw anyone up. It was a tragedy that could have happened to anyone. A tractor trailer flipped over, crushing the Sakisaka family car into twisted scrap. They said it even had been difficult to tell the corpses of Fuminori's mother and father. Ooh. For a while it had looked as though there was no hope for Fuminori's survival. That he was able to leave the hospital and return to his life was nothing short of a miracle. He was worse when we went to see him in the hospital, remember? He was terrified of us, like he didn't know who we were, and freaked out so bad he had to be tied to the bed. I'm just glad he's made it this far. So there's still something strange about him. What's with the way he looked at us? It's like we're not human. Cut it out, Umi, Koji said forcefully, his words of restraint probably less out of empathy for his friend than out of consideration for Yo. While Koji's kindness makes her happy, Yo also knows that, as Koji says, she mustn't depend on it. Fuminori is the victim. He's the one who deserves sympathy. Yo's feelings for Fuminori are her problem, and no one else's. She doesn't blame Fuminori for not responding to her immediately after she finally worked up the courage to confess to him. In fact, she thinks even more fondly of him, for his serious consideration of her feelings, that she would have given him a quick, casual answer. Assuming that, just because Fuminori didn't turn Yo down, they were essentially a couple. Koji and Umi have plenty of fun at their expense. However, he still hasn't given her an answer. After revealing her feelings to him, Yo didn't see Fuminori again until a week later, and then she could only stare at his severely wounded body through the window of ICU. And when he was finally released, after 50 days that seemed like an eternity, he was somehow different. She started to doubt that he even remembers what she confessed to him before the accident. Now winter is coming, with her feelings still hanging in the air. Dr. Tambo Ryoko, there is no patient more troublesome than this young man. Has there been any progression since then, Sakisaka-san? No, there haven't been any problems to speak of. His voice is hard and flat, his words tossed carelessly into the air. It is as though he is speaking to himself in an empty room. Even without the training of a psychiatrist, Ryoko can clearly sense the thickness of the walls he has erected between himself and the world. Have you experienced nausea, dizziness, or auditory visual hallucinations? All of the above. No, nothing. Or that. While Sakisaka appears to be looking at Ryoko, his gaze is actually aimed a fraction down to the side. He's only superficially engaged in conversation he has no interest in. Perfect rejection. Realizing that she can't interview him like this, Ryoko sighs and sets aside her chart. Sakisaka-san, the treatment you receive at this hospital was absolute latest in neurosurgery. You know this, correct? Elimination of subdural hematoma through the use of micromachines, a treatment available in Japan only at this T University Medical Center. It has been the only way to save Sakisaka Fuminori, good gosh, from a cerebral contusion that should have been fatal. As it is brand new treatment, we're still gathering data on it. This means it carried risk. No doubt. Sakisaka Fuminori's lips twist slightly in what might be bitter or mocking smile, but it's gone before Ryoko can discern its meaning. Normally, it'd be a problem for a doctor to frighten her patient like this, but there have been reports of serious brain disorders post-surgery. We must continue to monitor your condition carefully. And that's it for now. Out of time. So I'll keep you guys updated. I might not post one tomorrow, considering what tomorrow is, but there'll definitely be one again.